First Coast's most accurate forecast from the First Coast News Weather Team, certified by Weather Rate, sponsored by AC Designs.
Let it rain. Hello, everyone. I'm meteorologist Lee Southwood, joined by meteorologist Lewis Turner, and you are looking at a time lapse over downtown Jacksonville, watching that beautiful rain roll on in.
I got fixated on the Maxwell House smoke coming up. Yeah, quick shower downtown. We just got done with it, actually. Had a good downpour, in fact, downtown. Welcome to it. Welcome to a Tuesday. We've been talking about kind of this day for a good week.
Yeah.
Our rain chances, our best rain chances that we've seen in more than a month, and it's kind of come to fruition. And just looking kind of at the course of the last 24 hours, essentially, I mean, while it wasn't all day long, just about everybody got at least a little bit.
And that's why we were looking at it for so long. I mean, this is much needed rain, much
Yeah.
welcome rain.
Yep.
I welcome it. I wanted it, but as I told you, it's been making me sleepy. It is hard to get going today.
It's weird we have our weather desks are looking out a window here at the station, and rightfully so. And watching the rain, I just had this moment of thinking, like, gosh, has it really been since the end of October 27, I guess, since we actually saw rain falling through that window? It's wild. So we went the whole month of November.
October 27th. I mean, that's just, I think I heard a couple, there's like a stat where like it wasn't even Florida, Georgia yet. It wasn't
Right.
Halloween.
Yeah.
We went through Halloween and Thanksgiving.
Yep.
With no rain.
No rain. So, it was the opening of RV City. You remember, like, it was that Wednesday before Florida, Georgia,
Wow.
or Tuesday, whenever RV City officially opened. It was
Tuesday.
a dreary kind of. It wasn't like a flooding, pouring rain, but it was the last time we had measurable rainfall, and it was just kind of that cool, crummy sort of day. I remember everybody getting downtown for that. Let's get right into the radar. What we're seeing right now. We are not done with the rain just yet. I mean, we are kind of in the last lingering threats of the showers, and haven't seen any lightning, so don't have to worry about the thunderstorm activity. But zooming into where it is heaviest, we just had kind of some heavy downpours with that kind of moderate rainfall as well through downtown, through San Marcos, South Side, and a lot of it's making its way out to the beaches, is going to race offshore. We've got another pocket of rain. I know I mentioned the last 24 hours, so there were some areas in St. Johns County that maybe you didn't notice it, but got some rain overnight last night, even pre-midnight. So technically December 1st, we had rain, so we could check that box when you're talking technicalities, because it happened just before midnight. And then through the day, off and on. But St. Augustine, if you felt left out in all of this, you're right on the edge of maybe getting through Palencia there and the World Golf Village, getting some of those showers heading towards the outlet malls. So if you're doing an early dinner or doing a early Nights of Lights, getting ready for that, just know you're about to get a pulse of a shower moving right over the ancient city.
And then if we just zoom out, looking at the trajectory of this, Lou, do you think our friends in Flagler County are going to get some rain? Or do you think it's going to kind of fizzle out before it reaches?
By the time the front crosses Flagler, because all this is the actual final frontal passage. We're finally getting it's really right up there, layered and laying across like Duval and extending down towards Union and Bradford County. By the time that front gets to Flagler, I think we've lost a lot of the juice.
I agree with you. But, speaking of the line of looking at the big picture of that front moving through, still messy up in the Boston area. Most of that rain has cleared the East Coast up to the Carolinas, but then have you seen any sort of travel delays? I know you did the noon newscast. Were we talking about any sort of issues with travel out there?
And even at 11, from 10:30, 11 o'clock, when Robert Spett and I were talking, we were watching this right here, and a mess, essentially, driving from Washington. Earlier this morning, it was a mess from Washington, D.C., all the way up 95 through just about to Manhattan, but then going through kind of the Hudson River Valley, going through upstate New York and into parts of Vermont. I mean, we saw a ton of snow, and now Western New York's kind of left out of it. But at one point today, essentially the entire state of New York was under some sort of snow, except for Manhattan, New York City. Obviously, it'd be a little more maritime and coastally impacted. They were just stuck with this really frigid, cold rain right on that snow, sleet rain line. So never saw it. As far as 95 is concerned, I imagine, this morning around 11 to noon, it was covered again from the Carolinas all the way up to D.C. So I imagine we had some pretty big issues there with travel. Hopefully everybody was done with their Thanksgiving travel, though.
One person who's not is Ross Moomaw. He's coming back today, but I saw he got some snow where he was.
Yeah.
Do you know where he is again?
Yeah, he's central Pennsylvania.
Okay.
So he was sharing some. He was getting the full brunt of some northeast late fall, early winter type weather.
Right before Thanksgiving, he and I were doing this 4:30 stream, and he said he wasn't sure if he was going to get snow, but he was hoping. So I know he's glad to have seen it and enjoyed it.
Yeah, he's that kind of guy.
I'm glad.
Glad for him.
Glad for him, exactly.
I wouldn't mind a little winter weather down this way, maybe in January.
Yeah, January.
But let's get a little time.
How about the fact that it's 73 degrees right now in Jacksonville
Yep.
and it's 39 degrees in Atlanta? Just
Yeah.
go up north just a little bit and look at those temperatures. Chicago, 18 degrees. This is the front too that's brought in all of that cooler air. We are going to cool down, but not significantly like this. We will notice some cooler air. Really, for us, it's all been about the rainfall, the needed rain out of this front, but still just a look at our temperatures across the first coast. Oh, I'm jumping ahead. Hold on. Before you see that's warmer.
Yeah.
So you can see in Waycross at 64, and meanwhile it's still in the 80s in Palm Coast.
Yeah.
And we saw St. Augustine had temperatures in the 80s earlier. So quite a temperature difference there.
And you can see, if you just look at this map, you can tell where the front is. Again, it's essentially between St. Simons, Jacksonville, and laying right across to Lake City, where some of those cooler temperatures will start to finally filter in. But it's just kind of laid over I-10. Essentially at this point, with those showers coming to an end. A lot warmer today. That's what happens ahead of fronts. You get those southwest winds, and we've had some good breezy conditions today, kind of pumping in a little warmer condition, as you can, and just some good, meteorology 101 when you're charting and putting maps together. And you're told you got to hand draw some fronts on a map that's got its wind barbs and everything. You look for the west and southwest, and that's generally where you got warmer air coming in, and then you look for where the wind shift from the northwest. So you can kind of see where the front really is.
You brought me right back to my first meteorology class in college, freshman year, just thinking about hand drawing out those fronts on the maps.
You could do it by winds, you could do it by dew point, you do it by temperatures, and with the winds, really good picture of that.
Yeah, and as we saw, there is still gusty along the coast. We have some gusts in the 20s out there too. So overall, not the prettiest of evenings, but we are going to see the rainfall at least come to an end. So as noted, still moving through places like St. Johns County, St. Augustine area. But Lou, I do think it will be clearing out as we head into these overnight hours. And then even as we head into tomorrow, I think we'll see a good bit more sunshine. Still some clouds out there, and you can see that here on our Futurecast too. But all things considered, a nicer day and a cooler day. We had talked about that cooler air moving in. So if you're looking for some festive weather, I don't think it comes tonight with Nights of Lights. I think that 70% is trying to account for the rain that's moving in right now. We're there at 5 p.m., but then it clears out. So if you're trying to get out, I think it's going to be okay. Just still a little muggy out there, and you're not going to have that sudden drop in temperature. So not holiday sweater yet out there at Nights of Lights.
Yeah, and depending on where you are in the First Coast, and this, of course, you see the rain icon with light. We haven't seen lightning, but the 80% is accounting for right now at Jacksonville Beach. But deck the chairs will be good to go once this round of showers over you. Essentially, right now moves offshore, and it's doing that as we speak. You'll have a nice deck the chairs going, and rather mild to start the evening. But after we go to bed, those temperatures are going to drop fairly quickly. You think a 30-degree temperature shift between our highs today of 77 and our lows in the morning of 47. So definitely jacket weather if as you're heading to school and to work in the morning, sending the kids off. You're going to want the You're on with a jacket.
Yeah, 47. That's still chilly, especially after, like you said, today we're in the 70s. It's been warmer. So tomorrow noticeably cooler than I think, especially starting off chilly, but then in the afternoon staying in the 60s, and then especially on Thursday because it'll be even colder in the morning.
Yep. Couple of cold mornings on the way, and in the afternoons we're not warming up too significantly. So hoodie will probably do the job for the full day. Let's take a quick break. Is that what you're about to say?
Yep, I was about to say there is more rain in the forecast. Kind of giving a little tease.
Sure.
So yeah, stay with us because we're going to talk about more rain. Will it impact the Jags game? We're going to break that down for you coming up.
Welcome back. Had a little sniffle there. I apologize.
Okay, you need a moment?
Nope. Moment's taken, moment's gone. The moment comes and goes like that. So, yeah, we got to look ahead to the weekend. We kind of teased ahead. So we have kind of one day of true dry weather. And then we start to think about Thursday's rain chances for southeast Georgia. Just, we've got another line of system coming our way. So getting into this progressive pattern for December, it looks like. Even looking in long-range forecasting, looks like, we're going to see a few opportunities to get some showers.
Yeah, don't love the timing of this one because it's over a weekend, a busy weekend. So as you mentioned, Thursday, Southeast Georgia, we'd watch for you to have a few showers. Friday, a little bit more rain coverage out there. And then it's this weather impact alert on Saturday. So we issued this Saturday into Sunday because so many people will be out and about with it being a weekend.
Yeah, so we are looking at timing, right? So when we do our weather impact alert, we try to be as precise and exact as possible with timing so you can plan accordingly. Now, this Tuesday, and our confidence is already fairly high, if at the highest possible level for a Saturday rain event. Looking like we'll get some showers going Saturday. We're modeling is wishy-washy is the specific timing on Sunday, and we are still a pretty good ways out from that. So we're going to fine-tune this, and you will notice that this graphic will probably change a bit depending on if we need to extend further into Sunday. That 1 p.m. is a magic time, though, and that was strategic, and it was on purpose. That's when the Jags kick against the Colts, home game. Back at the bank, big game, and I want to emphasize this is not all right, you don't need to go to the game sort of piece of advice. This is you're going to the game. If you got tickets, they need you in that stadium. Jags need every bit of home field advantage with this one. This is an important game, and Jags are in the thick of not only a playoff push, but a division championship push. That means home field during the play. So you got to go. right? Rain or shine, you got to go. So what this is more of a here's how you plan to go and deal with the rain sort of thing. Now, right now we're saying by kick, perhaps the showers will have moved a little further south. Might still be some showers lingering around the first coast, but we're thinking specifically for the 60, 70,000 or so that are going to be in the bank. Got to fill it up. You got to have a poncho with you. This could impact your tailgating in the morning if you're heading down a little bit earlier. So could have a wet Sunday as well. We're looking good for Saturday as far as the rain chances go. I know if you have outdoor plans, somebody just texted me about some baseball tryouts Saturday. If they need to move it up a day, I would suggest do that. Move it up a day, although Friday we are watching a couple of showers. I just think Saturday is going to be the closest thing we've had to a washout of a day in a while.
Yeah, unfortunately, I had a friend text me about a wedding she's going to in Jekyll on Saturday.
Outdoors?
Yep. And so I was like, I suggest a tent.
Eyes got wide there for a second. Oh, you're planning a wedding right now.
Yeah.
So
Those tents are expensive, so
it's
I
been a
don't.
long
I take
time.
it very lightly when I say like trying to give someone advice to rent a tent or not. Like they are so expensive.
Yeah.
Ridiculously so. No need for that. But that's why I don't like to tell people to get a tent if I'm not certain, because I don't
Yeah.
want them to spend that money if they
Yeah.
don't have to. I said, yeah, you have to this Saturday. I
kinda
would
need to
absolutely do that.
have that indoor backup for some of these. Though, I mean, I know you're planning so far out, and you typically think, all right, so November, December is generally our drier season,
Yeah.
but it just so lines up that we didn't get any rain in November, so we're trying to do a little catch-up dance here in the month of December.
And as we mentioned, it's tricky especially when it comes to Sunday. And so I thought we would get a little nerdy with our friends here viewing with us today.
Why
And we
not?
would do a model comparison.
Okay.
So let's start with the GFS model.
All right, American model.
Yep. So Friday starting to approach, moving into Saturday. So in the morning, maybe a few showers. It looks like the heaviest rain, though, later in the day, in the evening on Saturday. And again, this is the GFS, also the American model. Lou and I look at a lot of things, not just these two models, but just for simplicity's sake with this stream and for sake of time, just comparing these two. So this is the GFS. We can all agree Saturday we're seeing rain. Saturday evening, it has been, at least what I've seen, Lou, more consistently across both models, showing the heavier rain in the evening time.
Yeah,
Do you agree
Saturday.
with that?
Yeah, I agree. So this does look like late day, midday to late day, Saturday overnight. Saturday night could get some heavier rain. This is a stalling front in a low pressure area trying to gear up and come out of the Gulf. This is the pattern that we've seen today, maybe a little more modified, a little different. We need it for real rain to happen here on the first coast with these fronts. Like what happens, you may get a dip in the jet, and you may get some polar air coming out of Canada, and that'll bring us a cold blast, but you don't get rain with it because these fronts will dry out, and there's a lot of dry air associated with it. When you get the moisture coming out of the Gulf, driven by maybe a little clipper or some sort of low riding up a front, and the front stalls, that's when we get more stratiform day-long rain. With the GFS taking us into Sunday morning here, and it's still lingering.
10 a.m., that's good time to get out there and start tailgating. And so that's why if you're tailgating, let's talk about ponchos already. Let's just be thinking about that.
Yeah.
And then this GFS model, we bring it towards kickoff, and it's not looking great.
Yeah.
If this is what comes to fruition, we are absolutely going to have to expand the weather impact alert. It continues to have the rainfall possible through game time.
Yep.
The European was our friend more so, but unfortunately, you'll see here the trend's kind of starting to push into Sunday too. So at least first thing I want to show you here Saturday, it agrees later in the evening. Some of that heavier rain starts to come around for our Saturday evening. More of that overnight Sunday morning, 10 a.m., not great for tailgating. Still seeing that heavy rain. Now, this is where we want it to push out of here, but by 1 o'clock, it's still trying to linger in the area, bring those showers around. So like Lou said, this isn't you're not going to the game. It's just there will be some showers around. Pack your poncho.
Yep.
And then as we head towards the end of the game, it's right there. I know it wants to clear it. Please, come on, European, clear it and win. And this is the solution we want. We want that front to come through and just push it all out of here.
Yeah, and I will say, when in terms of looking at today's event, which model did better? Well, the Euro did better. It seemed to do a little bit better with timing and amounts of rain. So as opposed to the GFS, which seemed to maybe overdo it a little bit for today in the long range. All right, so we're looking long range. Still, I'd consider this when we're talking, was it 35, 5 days out. He's still on the long end of this. So Euro seemed to do a little bit better job. in that. And so keep that in mind as well. Hence why we're kind of just doing half the day Sunday at the moment. If GFS and Euro tend to start lining up and showing more rain for later in the day, we'll talk about extending it fully. But we just want everybody ready to go for whoever will be doing the tailgating and going to that game. Just have the rain gear. Looking at the rest of our 7-day, though, for now we've got a couple of cold mornings. So now that the rain is beginning to clear, we've got some north winds going to usher in some colder air for Wednesday, Thursday morning. Definitely need the cold weather clothes. So jackets back out Wednesday, Thursday. You probably ditch them on Friday, but we do see that chance of rain moving in as we saw kind of at the beginning of those models Friday, and then we've got our weekend ahead.
All right, we're going to take a quick break, but we'll be right back. Got the winking right before.
You had some breaking news you wanted to mention. You had a question on Facebook?
Yeah, well, actually, let me just pull that right back up. Okay, so Chris asked about the information about US 1 in St. Augustine near the airport being closed and heavy police activity. And
a deputy
thank
involved
you
shooting.
so much, Chris. Look at that.
Just like listen, we're weather, but we're news. We're streaming here.
You are the news
no,
guy.
No,
You
no,
used to anchor.
you
I am
actually
strictly
just
weather.
anchored this past weekend.
We don't want to talk about that.
But we're a suspect injured in a deputy involved shooting, St. Johns County.
Yep. So US 1 is temporarily shut down.
And that's near the airport there. That's why we just had that question. Not weather related, though. Certainly we saw our share of weather delays on the highways.
Thank you.
This morning for sure. But yeah, this afternoon, if you are getting on Highway 1 and you're near the airport heading towards or away from St. Augustine, goodness gracious, all right, we got a mess there. So avoid that at all costs. Yes. What else we got?
Back to weather.
Yeah.
December, our averages. Oh wait, don't look. I was gonna test you.
Okay, I did see.
Okay, what do you think the hottest December temperature has been?
Record high temperature for December.
The entire month of December at the airport.
I promise you I did not look. I'm keeping my eyes closed.
Okay.
I'm going to say 87.
So close. That was good. 85.
85.
Okay.
A record high for December is 85.
Coldest temperature?
In December?
Uh-huh.
Record coldest temperature, 10.
You heard me say it earlier, right? When I was complaining. 11.
11
degrees. When we were sitting in the weather center, I was like, oh my gosh, 11 degrees. Average amount of rainfall?
2.3 inches.
You're good. You're very close. 2.78.
2.78.
All right, we can pull up the graphic. Thank you, Chris. So here are December averages. We usually start off around 70 and dip down towards 66.
Yes, 11
by
degrees.
The end.
I was, okay, close. I heard somebody say 11 degrees, but I didn't know if that was what that, okay. That is a subconscious cheat, I guess.
No, that was great. When I saw it, I would, if you said 11 degrees is the record cold. I would guess it in January,
Yeah.
not December.
Yeah.
Maybe late December, but whew, that's cold. And then meanwhile, 85 on the other end. It just shows you how crazy our weather can be here on the First Coast in the month of December. Normally for our morning lows, we're right around 48. So these chilly mornings are actually now
Seasonal.
typical.
Yeah.
Yep, seasonal for this time of year. So this is what we can expect. Also, by the way, look at how close we are to the end of the year.
Ting, ting, tingling too. Oh, we're getting close. We're getting close to a lot of very important dates. We're getting close to Hanukkah in 12 days, Christmas 23, New Year's in 30 days.
Yeah, the
Your
new
wedding's
year.
coming right up.
It is.
I'm so
That's
excited
not-
for you.
That's not important.
It's so important. We need to put it on the
important to
calendar. What do you
me.
mean it's not important?
It's important to me, but not to our viewers.
Extraordinary. Yes, it is. I guarantee you they're going to be thrilled.